All right, it's been a little bit. Again, apologies. I had this whole thing set up. I had all the tabs that I had pulled up ready to go, and then I clicked start recording, and then OBS threw a notice at me um, that said that something was broken. So I had to update a bunch of drivers. Should be good there now. Um, I'll probably have a second video about this, but like a small little update. I don't think I'm going to be dual streaming in the future, so if you want to watch streams, I've been trying to get back into streaming a little more regularly. I know for NA it's really, really early in the morning, so it might be difficult, but I'm streaming Master Duel on Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, and definitely go check it out there. Link is always in the descriptions to my Twitch stream. But I wanted to give everybody a bit of an overview on what I expect to see from Final Fantasy TCG in 2025. So we just finished 2024. I thought it was a fantastic year. I thought it was the best year of competitive play since I've been involved in the game, and I'm hoping that 2025 is similarly really nice. But before we do anything else, I do want to once again give a huge, huge shout outs to Materia Hunter. Um, just for being a great resource for the site, but also they reworked the search system, and I complained, and Bacon Jam went through and immediately changed it all. I don't know if you guys have ever seen me on a live stream, like live deck building, but I use this site a ton, and going through and fixing that, please go show Bacon Jam all of the love you can, because the new search looks really, really nice and really clean. Anyways, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So, 2025 in Final Fantasy CG, what I hope to see. So let's kind of go month by month. So first things first, this weekend, the weekend of the 8th and 9th, is the EU Winter Cup. EU Winter Cup is a standard best of one format tourney with a top cut. They've announced a lot of the pricing. There's an entry mat like there was for the North American Winter Cup last year. Um, I really loved. Australia's already had our Winter Cup equivalent in Summer Cup. Obviously, the hemispheres mean that our winter or their winter is our summer. I did end up winning that event. I don't know. Is the tourney on Materia Hunter? I don't know. Probably not. I know that yeah, Collins had some personal life things going on, which is understandable. I'm going to have a recap of that this weekend. I'm going to be pulling on Khalil and Rob, who were two of my teammates for the 3v3 event in that. But we'll talk all things Winter Cup. But I did win that event with Rafia Control. I think that the deck list is posted on my Twitter and my Blue Sky, which you should definitely go follow. Um, But best of one standard, so just basically kind of like a Materia Cup without some of the late game prizing. I do believe there's a lot of extra things like figures and things like that they're trying to do to make these a more casual, fun event. Definitely should go if you have a chance. I know that apparently it can be tricky. I do believe this is going to be streamed by the Seer Move Cactuars. If you don't know how to get to that, just type CYRMU space Cactuar on YouTube, and you should be able to find a bunch of their videos. They do a lot of great work. It's one of the best repositories of live gameplay for Final Fantasy. If you want to just watch some games, I just refer to new players that wanted to just watch some games. I'm like, hey, you should just go to this thing. And there's a gazillion games from the set. Um, if you are in NA, we do have two Winter Cups. There's one on February 22nd and 23rd, and March 8th. These are in California and in Raleigh. Um, I guess the one was such a success, and it sold out so fast. So if you're not familiar, the Winter Cup in North America is a 3v3 event, which should lead to some really interesting deck building things. If people are interested, let me know in the comments. But I can do kind of my breakdown of 3v3 decks and what I think has changed for the format, what I think would be good, what I think would be bad. But I think there's a couple of really strong de facto deck cores that you could build around. But obviously, like, I think that last year it ended up saving what was otherwise a really bad, like, Opus 21 format last year. I thought was one of the weaker formats the game has ever had, and I thought the 3v3 format of the Winter Cup kind of elevated it and saved it. I think this format is fine, but a little stale, and I think that like the Winter Cup could really help to that 3v3 really can bring out some of those rogue decks into contention, like how the Earth Wind Storm deck that I played last year was. Um, should be a lot of fun. Hopefully these get streamed. I know that Raleigh should definitely be streamed, probably to RVA Snugsy. Dublin, California. I don't know if those have been streamed in the past. I don't know if we've had anything in Dublin before. Usually the California ones have been in San Diego. I believe this is actually NorCal. Um, so pretty soon, I guess in between these, we'll have the Legacy Booster Pack set. I meant to pull up the full list for this. Give me one sec to pull it up. But if you're not aware, this is the first full reprint set for Final Fantasy TCG. Um, it is a very different type of set from normal. Booster packs are 5 cards each. There's a lot. Everything just about comes in full art, which is very fun for collecting. The foiling pattern on them is very different as well. Not everybody has seen it, but as opposed to like the normal like kind of cross hatching foiling, it's more like the Terras that you get from Materia Cup apparently. Let me pull up the full list. Here it is. So lots of really good stuff in here. I'm not gonna lie, I think this is a really scary product for Final Fantasy TCG, just because there's kind of a historical thing with TCGs where you need to be able to reprint product. You can't have um, important cards be locked behind 8-year-old sets. It just doesn't work that way. But this is probably going to lower a lot of the deck's values on the secondary market. Things like, again, Amaterasu getting another reprint. A lot of this is the first time a lot of full arts have been reprinted in full art again. I think a card like Kusith is a big one. Personally, a lot of this doesn't matter to me. I'm not really someone that cares about the secondary market of TCGs as much, but I do like my cards are mine. However, this is important to a lot of people, so I really hope this helps to bring in new faces to the game and doesn't push people away. Just because I really would love for more people to be able to enjoy the game that we all play, and I think the set does a great job of helping to make that a potential reality. And it really is a good set. I think that like they missed a couple of important reprints. Nothing has been reprinted past Opus 21, so I believe that like Lena has really spiked recently as a result of this. Granted, I think one nice thing about Final Fantasy TCG is the game is very fair and cheap in general, which is good. Should help alleviate some of those problems in general. What are some of the misses that are not in here? Amaterasu. I love the Alpha No reprint. Ifrit 20. Yeah, a lot of monthly promos got reprinted in here, which I guess is nice. I kind of still feel like those shouldn't be too difficult to get, thanks to locals having a pretty good normal non-foils normally for these. Um, yeah, like Terra from 23 is probably the biggest thing here. Like again, you could probably replace it with 10S in most decks and not feel too bent out of shape about it. Um, did not reprint the lock from Opus 20 by the looks of it. That's a pretty big one. Sets are being reprinted is interesting. Une will be in full art. That's nice. I love that. One thing that's nice about this set that I didn't mention, and I kind of hope they would just focus on this. But there's a weird problem with FFTCG's reprint policy, which is that if you look at the full art legends. Full art. The only way to get a mono full arts is for them to be the legacy full arts, which are not going to show up unless I scroll down a little bit too far here. But it means that a card like Sarah, for instance, I think that like Sarah is one of my favorite cards, super impactful, but it was very difficult to get a full art version of this card due to the difficulties around licensing a mono's art, combined with the fact that their self-stated way of doing legacy full art reprints is they only reprint legends. And a card like Sarah or Une or Megissa, these really impactful meta mono art cards in the hero slot. I think I can even filter by this, right? Artists, Yoshitaka Amano in hero. Again, cards, Siren is one that I'd love to see in full art. Lena in full art. Umaro, this T saw a lot of play. The Barts from Opus 22. These are cards that just don't have a good method to be released as full arts. Where is Barts? Am I blind? Might be a mistake. I might have to message Materia Hunter on that. But, I think having a place for these full arts to show up, the Sabin, for instance, Atomos, all these really nice full arts, having a place for those to show up again is actually really exciting. Like Azura is another card that doesn't have a full art, but probably should. Cool seeing Shantota get reprinted. Jesse being reprinted is cool. That'll be a nice full art to get. Sephiroth is in here in 18L. Al Cid, I think, is one that I remember looking at and going, I'm surprised it's not being reprinted here. Similarly, like Zeromus isn't getting reprinted in full art, which is very surprising to me. Sophie should have been reprinted here in full art. But regardless, I think it's a really nice reprint set. It should help make the game very accessible and easy to get into. So I'm really looking forward to this. I'm just hoping it doesn't do a lot or any damage to the game as a whole. It's probably part of the reason they were so afraid of doing reprint sets like this. So I'm hoping they got it mostly right. We'll see. We've seen one box opening on their YouTube where they kind of pulled out, showed some full arts and how they look. It looks like a really nice set. Following that, we have Tears of the Planet, which is the first core set released in 2025. I've seen a lot of naysaying on this set, actually, and I'm actually kind of excited for it. So, a lot of people are kind of underwhelmed by the box topper and the full art. I'll admit, I wish this Aerith was stronger than she is, but I do think people are kind of not giving the Zack enough credit. I mean, Category 7 is just such a broad thing, or like category. Ice Lightning is already kind of a Cat 7 deck. I really think there's a lot of potential for Zack to be an all-star in a lot of interesting decks. Like, it could be the buff that Turks finally needs to get off the ground as a deck. I think the special is really strong. I think it's like a really good soldier. It's kind of the DLC for like the Genesis from this set. And I'm just excited to see like the same excitement that a lot of people had to see Final Fantasy 16 in the game. I have that same excitement for Tears of the Planet. I know people got like burned out on FF7, but like Rebirth to me is like one of the best video games of all time. Like, look at this Cloud art, by the way. Oh my gosh, Miki Yamashita outdid herself. But like, if you haven't looked at this, like you like the Sephiroth and the Blade. So remember the rarities. This is a legend. The Zavid is a common. I think Barlai is a rare. We've seen the Barbarisha. The Red 13 is a rare, and the Atomos is a hero. So we're having another cycle of hero summons. If I could like have any requests, I really want to see the hero summons finally do something. I think the Leviathan and the Fenrir were close last set, but ultimately I really want to see like a deck like Refia not play or play a summon older than Opus 15 or newer than Opus 15. Like Refia right now is playing like Brynhildr, Leviathan, Kusith, Cucullin, and Amaterasu. It's like just I don't know what these have to do, but we can find something. Look at this art by Yuya Ishihara. We did get a bit of a reveal for these cards as well. Let me go ahead and reset the filters. We did get the full Archfiends, and I think they're really interesting. So first of all, I think Keknazo is just a standalone good card. It's the first 2 CP 5K that just bounces a forward on play. Really strong in a world where limit breaks exist, but also in a world where Tros and Tidus exist. Having an unconditional bounce is really strong. I think the Scarmiglione is interesting, very good in the intended archetype, but also just like a pretty okay card. It's hard for a back attack forward to be bad, as it turns out. I think the Barbarisha is probably the best Barbarisha in print, even if the second effect doesn't really matter very much. And the Rubicante, unfortunately, I think is probably by far the worst. But we really don't have a lot of like this protection type ability, so maybe it's better than we're giving it credit for. But it's really interesting, especially because this is, I think, the first time there's been a keystone card from the limit break that facilitates the whole archetype in Golbez. I think one of the biggest like what ifs in FFTCG history is Opus 19 Golbez. This card is so much fun, and there just haven't been Archfiends printed since Opus 13 before it. So maybe these are enough to make that card playable. I think it's just too little, too late at this point. 6 sets is way too long for this. But maybe I will definitely be giving it a shot and seeing with like the Golbez, Vayne, the Tidus. Maybe there's something here with the new Archfiends. But I'm looking forward to the set in general. I really want to see like a new Cisne. Like I said, new summons could be really fun. Or no, a new Cisne, a new Elena. There's only one Elena in the game, and Elena had a huge part in Rebirth. Like I'm almost wanting her to just be like a lightning legend in the set. I don't know if they'll do that, but it will be really fun and cool. Pretty soon after that set, the North American schedule has been announced, and this is March 28th. And King Kong Comics and Games in Dublin has their first tourney about a month later. So I don't believe Japan's organized play schedule has been announced yet. We'll keep an eye on that. Because probably that'll also be when Australia gets theirs announced. It'll be in a similar time frame. But this will be with Tears of the Planet legal. But you can see the full list of Materia Cups. So California, Collector's Cash, been there many times for tourneys. Fantastic location. Good Game Chicago, I think that's the same shop that ran it last time in Chicago. Went really well. Lone Star Pack Breaks. Absolutely love LSPB. Please support them if you can. Like Dallas is a great thing. I might even be trying to commentate that one remotely like I did last year. If you enjoyed hearing me do that. Pro Play Games, this is a different shop for Florida this time. I know the Pro Play Games runs a lot of like Final Fantasy and has locals pretty consistently running, so good to see that be rewarded finally. 401 Games, I think, is a different shop from Canada last time. Epic in Oregon is the same as is Game Theory in Raleigh, another great shop. Looking forward to all of the organized play being announced for other regions as well. Additionally, there are the same local qualifier system in North America. You have to win to qualify from a local qualifier, so it's going to be the same like double LQ season that we had last year, but hard to qualify from. I thought that was so much better, honestly, like in every way, than it was the year before, where it was like they had half of them, and like again, none of them were anywhere near me in Dallas. If you do own a local game shop that runs Final Fantasy, go sign up. The form closes tomorrow in the morning. So get that out there quickly if you watch this, or like if you're friends with a shop owner that runs Final Fantasy, double check, make sure they've got it in. These are great events, bring people to the shop, and always enjoyable. We do have an LCQ, NH Championship, World Championship as well. Just super exciting to see. We don't know any prizing for our events yet. We don't know what like the Terra equivalent will be or the Cloud equivalent the year before. We don't know what the Amaterasu / Mist Dragon. If I had to guess, it'll be Kusith. Given that like it's the only thing that really fits the mold of the years before, as like a really expensive summon that sees a whole bunch of play that could have some value pulled from a reprint. Like the only other one I can think of is like Shantoto. But yeah, really, really exciting stuff. We do actually have another set announced, which is good. So I will straight up be honest. I don't take anything in this game for granted. And hearing the reprint set being announced, Tears of the Planet, we've been a little bit silent since the World Championship. And sure, the World Championship talked a little bit about printing the World Champion decks. But like, the way it was said, he didn't want to commit to it. I don't know. I don't take anything in this game for granted. 8 years of Final Fantasy TCG is a lot, but I'd love to see it continue to run on. Obviously, so when Gunslinger in the Abyss was announced, I was actually really happy. Something new with Gunslinger in the Abyss, I don't know if you can tell it even in the picture, is the box size is halved. They are trying 18-pack boxes. You still get the same box topper with every box. Kind of wish they would do something different. I love the fact that Vincent is getting a full art print, but maybe it would have been nice to get like 2 full arts box toppers and kind of have a bit of chance with them. Because as it is, this Vincent is going to be very probably more common than like a hero will be. But actually, I will be honest. I really like the change. The MSRP on boxes is not changing. I think in Japan, packs are going up like 50 cents. But the way Square Enix calculates MSRP is they take the packs in the box and multiply them. They didn't raise the price of any packs. So you're just getting smaller boxes, which I think is just probably good for helping to ease people into the game. 18 packs is a lot easier to stomach than buying 36s at any given point. I do think these are the Signature, the Bart's, the Box Topper Vincent. These are cards that if they were legal right now would see a lot of play. I think in particular the Vincent would be a really strong card to deal with kind of the Chaos combo deck that's really kind of problematic. As far as other stuff, the revealed cards, we didn't see... Yeah, we haven't seen a summon. We do have a new Clive. I think this guy is a hero. Aiko, I believe, is a rare. Varshan is a legend. Amaranth is a rare. I know that Refia is a rare. Lightning is a hero, I want to say. Sonon is like a common or a rare, and Sid is like a common or a rare, I think. So yeah, definitely exciting. Very happy to see more FFTCG. One thing that hasn't shown up that I would like to see is a ban list. I think probably the cleanest time to do it is going to be right after the Winter Cup here. If you want my wish list, like the short version is ban Raijin, ban Lena, restrict Warrior of Light, ban Luso, and kind of see what that does. I do think that like maybe a ban on like either Laswell or Larsa would be nice as well, but I know people that's kind of wishful thinking. I think I could kind of do a conversation about that at some point. I know that the talking about cards that I wish were removed from the format always gets a lot of interaction and a lot of haters as well. People don't like it when I talk about bans, but I do really think the game is kind of in need of one. just because like I just don't want to see what like I don't know what power creeps chaos combo, what power creeps Refia. Do I want to see what those decks look like? No. I think the better way of kind of rotating the format is just to kind of remove those in a healthier way. But also ban realm. One more. Hopefully that kind of happens at some point. You know, again, I just think it's not healthy for the game to not have changed much in the last couple of sets. And like until they do something, it's going to be very hard for me to not want to just play Refia at every large organized play event that I go to. With that out of the way, that is Final Fantasy TCG in 2025 that we know of so far. When we get the European organized... we do actually have one more thing. I forgot. Sometime in the summer, we don't have a date. We are getting the World Champion deck list. We don't know a lot about this. We don't know if this is legal for play or not. My assumption would be that this will be legal for play. Released in summer 2025. A lot of card games, when they print these, do print them with a different back to prevent them from causing issues with the secondary market. We'll see what happens there. The deck is really strong, obviously. It does potentially mean that maybe, gosh, it's a weird problem as well to have, because it also means that they're going to be reprinting Lena, like a lot of the cards that I said I have problems with in the format. And you don't want to like hamper that. I do like the rule that some card games have. If you just use a precon, then you can play without it. But like, this is the World Champions deck list. Like, it's pretty good. Like, even another set into the set and a half into the game, I don't know if that's enough to really hold this back from being the best deck if you don't restrict some cards in it. But maybe they could talk with Hara about like replacing some of the more problematic cards in the deck or something. But yeah, that's everything that we know about Final Fantasy TCG in 2025 so far. Let me know what you're excited about, what you're not so excited about. Let me know if you do want to see what you want to see from me, whether it's a channel update, talking about thoughts on the game as a whole right now. I can talk about kind of my personal plans, what I intend to do with the channel, and streaming and all of that going forward. And yeah, thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.